Well, hello everybody. This is kind of an update video. It's going to be a little bit all over the place because I got a lot of things to bring up because a lot of stuff happened at the same time. With the move, everybody knew about the move already. I mean, if you watch this channel, you knew that that was like my big focus. But some other things came up that I'll get into. But the first thing I wanted to do was, introduce the video and I say that I am around. I didn't disappear. I didn't die yet. It was close. Um, and I will get back to making videos, but probably still going to be a fairly low frequency for perhaps more obvious reasons in a second. First of all, this is my new room in the new house. It's a little bit better review. I zoomed in on my face a little bit, because it's going to be a camera video. But yeah, I got the decorations for the most part. There's still some blank walls and stuff, but been very slow going. Got my laptop and everything all set up, and my computer set up right here, of course, which you can't see because the camera's part of it. But I like it. It's nice. I got a ceiling fan. Lighting is a little bit better. Still bad, as you can see, the giant shadow on me. I probably need a new light source, but the other ring light I had kind of freaked out on me and stopped working, so whatever. I'm not really too concerned about it because I don't really make videos like YouTube videos at this setup. This is mostly just to stream games and stuff. Um, and it looks okay for that as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, there's a little, this is like a little preview, sneak preview, I guess, if anybody's curious. But this is the new room. Everything I have that I need is set up. I just haven't gotten out a lot of decorations and a lot of things like books and DVDs and stuff. They're still in the garage because I really don't need them right now. That's why the bookshelf right around here is empty, because the books are in the garage along with a lot of other stuff. But the important things are out. That's all that really matters. The move is over. The move that I've been building up to is over. I like where I'm at. I think it's a pretty nice place. More expensive than I wanted, which is going to go into part of some other things. So part of that is I want to, expand my eBay business because I've been putting a lot of time into that. Um, but the real roadblock, and I said this video is going to be very disjointed, but the important thing and the reason why I basically disappeared off the face of the planet wasn't because I was moving. If it was just that, I probably would have had a video up, last week with the volcano tacos and McDonald's has the jalapeno like sandwiches and stuff like that. The what was it? The like bacon barbecue KFC chicken sandwich and stuff. I would have had something up, but the fates conspired against me. I suppose I executed my move on Thursday, which was I have to look at the calendar here because it's been a long time. Thursday the 29th of June. That was the planned date to do the big part of the move. I already had this place secured, so it wasn't a big deal. Like I didn't have to get everything that day, but that was the day I had the U-Haul, so I had to get all the big stuff, all the furniture and stuff like that. Um, and that Tuesday, after everything's already set up, but the Tuesday, 2 days before that Thursday, um, I was in major, major, major pain, stomach pain, and I didn't know what it was. And it was very concerning, but I was like, whatever, it'll go away. It didn't. So on Thursday, because I'm an idiot, I still went through with this move in horrible, horrible, horrible pain. And nausea, specifically nausea. I was throwing up multiple times a day. I didn't eat. I didn't eat anything after Tuesday. Tuesday to Thursday, I literally didn't eat any food because it was too painful. I was just trying to drink as much water as I could, but that didn't work out either. I was dehydrated, very dehydrated. But I still executed, the move on Thursday, which is a horrible thing to do. I shouldn't have done that, but since I paid for the truck, I like, how it is. It's paycheck to paycheck. I paid money for this U-Haul. I can't delay it, and I still have to be out of the other place in a couple days, anyways. So I really didn't have a choice, even though I probably should have. You should always put your health above everything else, but I did it. So I moved everything on Thursday. It was horrible, one of the worst days of my life. Then Friday morning, still horrible. So I finally decided I would try to fix my problem. So instead of going to the emergency room immediately, which probably would have been the smart thing to do, I set an appointment, emergency appointment with my primary care doctor because I thankfully do have insurance, which is not the best insurance, but I got it through the government marketplace and stuff. So heavily subsidized because I'm broke. So it's good in that sense. But I set up an appointment with my primary care the next day because he had a slot open the next day. So Saturday, bing, go in there, 2 p.m. It's horrible, and he's trying to run a bunch of tests on me. He runs an EKG or an ECG, which is the one where they put all the little things over you and like measure your heartbeat and stuff. Doesn't know what's going on, and then basically I'm there for 3 hours before he says, "Yeah, you need to go to the emergency room because I can't solve your problem. Like I don't know what to do." He doesn't have the tools. He doesn't have X-rays or MRIs or anything. He doesn't know what's going on. So, long story short, I go across the freeway about 5 minutes away to the closest emergency room. I sit there for approximately 6 hours. It's probably the worst. I mean, the emergency room is always bad, but this was maybe the worst emergency room experience I've ever had. 6 hours just full of people, all people in pain, acting crazy because they're in pain. Everybody's miserable. So I'm sitting there for 6 hours before they finally see me. I think my problem was I didn't lie. I hear all the conversations around me. Everybody's like, "Yeah, when they said pain, you got to say 9 or 10, otherwise they won't pay attention to you," which I guess is true. So this is a pro tip for anybody out there who hasn't learned this already. I probably should have already learned this at my age, but if you're going to the emergency room and you are in bad pain but it's bearable, just exaggerate because otherwise you will be there way too long. Because I said, "Oh, my pain's like a 6 right now," because it was bad, and like on the actual scale of 1 to 10, a 6 is very bad. It was like constant 6, which was really horrible. But I wasn't like actively, dying, so I didn't say 9 or 10 because that's really what that means. Anyways, long story short, you should lie and always say 9 or 10, pretty much regardless of what's going on. But eventually I got in there. They set me up in the emergency room. Bunch of tests. Finally, I get the news back. I get an ultrasound, which is very interesting. So I get to, I get the baby pictures, but they're not baby pictures. They're pictures of my gallbladder, with gallstones in it, multiple big ones. And they say, "Hey, guess what? You're gonna have to stay here overnight because we're gonna set you up for surgery tomorrow, and we're gonna cut your gallbladder out and take it out tomorrow. And you need to do that, so you're gonna be stuck here." Cool. At that point, it sucks, but I was like, thank God they know what's going on. They're gonna do the surgery. It's gonna suck, but they know. So there overnight. The next day, I get an MRI, which is a very, very interesting thing. I never really thought of myself as claustrophobic, but when I went in there, I started freaking out after like 10 minutes. I was really solid for like the first 10 minutes, but I didn't realize that MRIs are very long. It's like 25 minutes you have to be in there and you cannot move. Like you cannot move an inch. That's basically the only thing you can't do is move. You can, you have to lay still, otherwise, you ruin everything. So I had to end up starting over because at like the 15-minute mark, I was freaking out so bad. I pushed the button, which this isn't important to the story, but the MRI it was out there. But the second time through, they put some different music on headphones and stuff, and I got through it. But just crazy experience. I never thought I always thought like MRIs were kind of cool. I'd never seen one. I'd never like been in one, but it is really cool for like the first 10 minutes, but then it just freaked me out. So if they can invent a faster MRI, if anybody wants to do that, that'd be cool because that sucked. But anyways, they did that. They needed the better pictures, I guess, for the gallbladder thing. It's not a open surgery. It's I forgot the word they use. It's like endoscopic or something like that. Basically, they cut you open. They cut me in 4 spots on my stomach, 4 like 2-inch incisions. and they go in there with the camera, and the the little tool in the camera, and they snip it out. They snip your gallbladder and pull it out, which is crazy. Went in there, got prepped for surgery, which was also mind-boggling. Like, I've never had an actual surgery like that. I've had stitches, but I've never been knocked out and woken up like that. The only time I'd ever been under anesthesia like that was when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and that experience was crazy. But this one was way crazier, going into the weird sterile white room, like five doctors talking to me, blah blah blah, and then I just passed out because they, IV'd me with whatever anesthesia drugs they got that work really good. Thankfully, if I was one of those people that woke up on the table, I don't know what would happen. I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be in the mental hospital. But no, it went through. I was asleep, woke up in not really in pain because they had given me all sorts of drugs. And that was my weekend. So Sunday, I'm still there. They kept me overnight after that. It's usually most people are out the same day, like 5 or 6 hours later, but they kept me overnight because my EKG was also out abnormal and my white blood cell count and all this other stuff. But luckily, the next day they did all their tests and they were like, "Okay, you're good. You just need to go home now and not do anything for like a week and a half," which is leading me to here. So I've basically just been here at home. The first like 4 or 5 days, I was just mostly bedlocked, didn't do anything, which is how it's supposed to be. But now I guess it's about a week and 2 days, maybe a week and I can't remember because it was on Saturday or Sunday, which was the second. So it's only been really a week, I guess. But yesterday and today, I felt a lot better. So I'm out and about, I'm moving around. I can't bend over all the way and I can't lift things that are heavier than 15 pounds. Which I think I could. I physically I could, but I'm going to listen to them and not do that because I really don't want anything bad to happen in this area. I'd like to heal. So I've been very, very, very light work, which made setting up this whole place very hard. My dad helped me a lot, but it's slow going because he's old and he can't really do too much either. So it was a huge thing, but I'm at the spot where now I can actually go in the garage and get boxes out and go through them without dying. So I finally feel okay. I'm back on, and this is probably the important part of this whole video. If anybody really, to make a long story short, I had the surgery, it went okay. Diet. They took all my measurements and stuff. They said, "Hey, your blood sugar is pretty high." And I already knew that because my primary told me it was pretty high before, but I was like on the borderline. She was like, "You got to be careful because you're in a bad zone where if your numbers go any higher, you might have diabetes. You got to, lay off. You're like in the warning stages, which is terrible." But I've been fine with that. I've been trying to eat healthier and all that good stuff. So that didn't really matter too much in that respect. But more importantly, the gallbladder, you can still basically keep the exact same diet that you had before. And now these past couple of days, I've been eating just what I would normally eat. I've gotten a little bit of fast food. I I got some Little Caesars, which maybe is not the best first test food to get when you're talking about fast food, because it's a little bit ghetto, but I like Little Caesars and it worked out. Anyways, I'm back into a normal diet now. Like, I'm basically back to normal at this point. I just have to be light duty in terms of lifting things and stuff like that, but that's not really going to matter for making a YouTube video. Essentially, I can eat whatever I want now. It's no big deal. So that's pretty much done. I just gotta try to recover from what happened, which is mainly now going to be a financial thing. Because, as I said, I do have the insurance, it's subsidized and all that good stuff, but it's not the best insurance in the world. And I have, even though I've never had to get in surgery and stuff like this, have had experience with the emergency room and the way things go. And with insurance, without insurance, it's a huge mess. I know that the next couple months are going to be horrible in terms of that. My out-of-pocket maximum for my insurance is supposed to be $6,000, which is also very high, which I can't afford anyway. But even in getting a bill down to $6,000 is probably going to be impossible with the way things are billed with insurance. I'm going to have to go back and forth with them over and over and over, try to negotiate, negotiate the bills down. And hopefully I'm successful on that, because otherwise I'm just going to have to take a credit hit, which is going to be horrible. But at least I'm in a new place now, so they're not going to be looking at my credit for the next year, but it'll still be there. So at least medical is kind of understandable on a credit report, I guess, but it sucks. So I'm really, there's going to be a lot of focus on trying to not have that destroy me, financially. But there's a high likelihood it will. And in terms of billing, there's always different doctors. I learned this the last time I went. Like, different doctors are not working with the hospital; they're subcontractors and blah blah blah. And this company work in the hospital, but they're not a part of the hospital. They're not a part of the system. They're in your insurance. They're out of your insurance. I'll probably end up with like 20 bills, because that's what happened last time, and this was even more complicated than the last thing I went in for a couple years ago, with the surgeries and stuff. So I'll probably end up with like 45 different bills into the tens of thousands of dollars, but hopefully I can work through it. But I'm just, I'm just me, so I got to go back and forth with these guys. Last time it was the bane of my existence for months, and I assume it will be the same here. I guess at least I'm lucky in terms of I have the insurance. I suppose. Sorry, that was Olivia in the background, who's also still here, which made this whole experience really interesting. Um, because trying to take care of her at the same time is crazy. Um, but anyways, the insurance, it's a huge scam as usual. So that is at a part of the forefront of my mind. More immediately is, paying the actual bills I have now. So since I've basically spent, the whole, like a week leading up to moving, not doing anything, in terms of selling stuff on eBay, which is like the primary income I do now. And then I'm in the hospital, that good stuff. It's been like a solid 2.5 or 3 weeks where I have not even listed something on eBay because I just haven't been able to. And I'm definitely falling behind. So the important thing for me to do now is I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the next few days and weeks trying to build that back up, list things, be consistent, because eBay is its own beast. It's like a YouTube; it has its own algorithm, and like YouTube, they want you to be very active. So on eBay, if you're not listing something new every day, you're dropping down in the search results and blah blah blah. I don't want to get into the whole thing, but essentially, I need to really focus on that, and that's what's going to be taking up the majority of my time. Outside of resting, because I still need to do light work and I still do get pretty tired and taking naps and stuff. So even for the next week or two, I'm presumably still going to be healing, even though I can pretty much do whatever I want to do at this point. So that leads to the YouTube videos. Long story short, that's my life story for the last couple weeks. Leading up to YouTube videos, which obviously I haven't posted one in a long time. Like I said, I wanted to do the volcano menu. That was going to be like, oh, here's my first video in the new house, I'm going to get the volcano menu, but that didn't happen. I don't know if they still even have it over there, but I'm not really too concerned about it. Because the other big thing is that fast food is super expensive. I'm sure everybody already knows this, but at this point, it's a financial imperative for me to not get that much fast food. That's part of the reason why I got Little Caesars as my first return to fast food, is because it's cheap. And I can get a pizza for $7. That's decent in my opinion, and some cheese bread, which is really good. But more importantly, it's cheap. And most fast food isn't cheap, and especially the new items, they're never cheap. And at this point, going to a place and spending even $10 or $15 on fast food is really not a good idea. So I'm going to be very heavily focusing on cooking my own meals, and not eating out too much, which is part of the reason why I'm not going to have too many videos. But I am, back in the swing of things. So if something super exciting does come up, I definitely want to try it. Right now, there's not really anything that I know of on the horizon that's really that interesting to me, that I want to step out of my way for in terms of fast food or grocery, really. But if I find something interesting, I'll definitely do it. It's just going to be a lot less frequent. Like, plenty of those fast food trips that I did to try the new items were really excuses to just get fast food because I wanted it. But I just can't do that right now. So Videos will be short, well, or not short. They will be short to come across. I don't know why I'm blanking on this word, but they're going to be very sporadic for the foreseeable future. I don't know. Until I can get into a rhythm, back into a rhythm in this new place. You know, I have new places to go. I got new thrift shops I got to check out. Got new routes, got to do yard sales and garage sales, which, you know, that's all fun stuff, really. But it is a whole new area to learn because I'm not in the same city. Even though I'm not far, I can still get back to the old city I was in, you know, 30 minutes. And I probably will go there to check out my old thrift stores because I already know them and all that good stuff. But I got to learn this whole new area, which does have most of the fast food places, so that's a positive. And it's pretty much got the same things the other place had. So that's not a problem in terms of that. But I got to learn this new place, learn my new routes, list things, set up the actual house, which is not at all set up. My room is, you know, pretty much skeletally set up. As I said, all the big pieces are in place, and some of the decorations on the wall are there and stuff. But there's still a lot of things I got to get out of the garage. The living room and the kitchen, I'd not, you know, they might as well be empty because all that stuff is in the garage because I just don't have the time or really the energy to do all that stuff. So I got to do all that. It's just crazy. Crazy timing. I got, you know, I ended my utilities at the other place, got to pay those bills, got to start the new utilities here, which is always a good thing. You got to put a deposit for the water, blah, 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 blah. Until I'm in a place where it's not so crazy, essentially, it's the fast food videos aren't going to be too much of a highlight. So, yeah, this is basically my, how long is this? Over 20 minutes video catching up on what's been going on in my life if anybody's interested. I don't know if anybody is, but here it is. This is me sitting in my new room, vaguely set up and explaining why there's probably not going to be that many videos in the near future. I got, you know, I set up that TikTok, which I'll probably just never post to, and Instagram and all that good stuff. Like, I just, social media and stuff like that, it's so far like out of my mind right now that I'm not really paying attention. So just don't expect a lot of stuff coming from me in the near future. I will still try to do, I like making the reviews, but I'm going to have to be super selective and only on things that I'm really, really, really interested in the future. So that's basically the long and short of it. Less videos, less presence on social media and all that good stuff. Streaming games on Twitch, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know if I'll be able to carve out the time for that. You know, even though I do play games by myself to kind of de-stress and stuff like that, um, I don't know if I want to stream on Twitch because there's kind of a thing when, you know, there's kind of a commitment angle when you're streaming on Twitch. I can't go on there and play a game for 45 minutes and then stop because nobody wants that. That just feels like a waste of everybody's time. But that's pretty much the mode I'm in now, is I've got an hour or two here and there to play games, and not stream level time commitment for the most part. And also streaming requires more energy than just playing a game by yourself. You know, it's different when it's just me here laying in my bed, trying not to die, playing a game, you know, for 4 or 5 hours, just chilling, relaxing, not talking to anybody, not engaging with my brain off. It's very different than trying to stream a game in which you have to really be connected to the game, paying attention, focusing, and also talking to other people at the same time, which is really fun to do, and I like it. I like having the interactive element, but right now, it's not exactly in my in me. Essentially, I just don't really feel like doing it because it's different. I'd rather just play a game by myself and chill out, or play a game with my friends and chill out right now, than stream. But I would like to stream more in the future, but I don't want to promise things like that because before this whole thing, I promised that I would stream more, and that never worked out. So I don't want to get into that. But that's essentially the long and short of it. Is I'm not dead. I'm here. I'll make some videos when I can, but that's really all there is to it. Otherwise, um, I just got to focus on getting my life in order and back together after this 1, 2, 3 punch of moving and also having to go to the emergency room and get emergency surgery and recovering from that while also taking care of Olivia, which is fun. I'd like to do some videos with her before she goes in a week or two. But who knows? It's fun when it's fun, but it's a burden when it's a burden. So you know, when I'm bedbound, it's a little bit harder. But now I'm back on the level where me and Olivia could definitely make some videos and have some fun. I just don't know if we'll be able to do that before she goes home because she's got to go home soon because of summer school. You know, got to go school shopping and get set up for the school year, which is going to start in August and blah blah blah. You know, it's all happening at the same time. So I just want to focus on, you know, my life, I guess, and get through this period and hopefully be, you know, hopefully a month or 2 or 3 or whatever, however long it takes from now, I'm in a groove, you know, I'm back, I got a routine, I got a schedule. You know, I'm in a good place financially and I can start regularly doing videos again. But as for now, it's a cluster F. It's crazy. And I'm not even like this whole video. I was trying to focus on the camera, but I know I wasn't because I'm just looking off and thinking of other things in my head. I can't really focus too much on one thing. So hopefully that whole scattershot made sense. I'm sorry for the coughing. But again, long story short, again, just videos are going to be sporadic because there's a lot going on in my life. That's really it. And with that, I will see you all next time.